and that was IGN rates Ghost of Yotei worse than Dragon Age Veilguard as Sony faces a sucker punch. Now, of all the companies to describe themselves the most aptly, I think Sucker Punch is one of the best. Apart from Halo Studios, because they're going to die very, very soon. That company is not going to last. But for years now, Sucker Punch have had a problem. They've had a problem of being infested, and you're seeing the effects of that most notably with Ghost of Yotei. I mean, the last time Sucker Punch put agenda first with their franchises, it led to the death of the infamous franchise, which enabled Ghost of Tsushima to actually be created, because one man's failure is another man's opportunity. But I just found it very interesting that IGN would rate this property lower than Veilguard, although Veilguard did get a change from 9 out of 10 to 7 out of 10. So that's very intriguing, because that's never happened before or since, but you never know. Let's start off with Jose, because he makes broken things better. What do you make of this whole situation?
Well, I mean, it's very simple. The fact is the check didn't clear. We know that these game industries are at this point bribing these review publications, whether it's IGN, GameSpot, Kotaku, whoever, to just basically, fillet them verbally. And so that's what's going on here. And unfortunately, I think sometimes because of the fact that there's this sort of DEI, unison, sometimes the company gets cheap. Sometimes maybe Sony wants to save a few bucks. They don't want to butter the bread of IGN that bad. So they think, oh, well, they'll just give us a high rating because we're all allies on the same side. It doesn't always work that way. And it was very egregious with Dragon Age Veilguard, because EA pretty much put something in the pockets of everybody and said, here you go. And I mean, you look at it, I did a whole thing where I went to the Gamer and counted the number of fluff pieces on Dragon Age Veilguard, and there were like 52 articles in a 30-day period talking about how great Dragon Age Veilguard was. You don't get that unless you pay for that. And that's a problem with the games industry. That's why I always tell people that you cannot trust reviewers. You can only take things with a grain of salt, because these people, they're not giving you an opinion that's honest. They're giving you the opinion that they were paid to give you the opinion of. A lot of people don't know this. A long time ago, and this is, a long time ago, I was like 17, 18 years old, infancy of the internet, sort of 90s. And I was part of a PlayStation review website. And Konami told us, if you want a review copy of Metal Gear Solid, you have to give Nagano Winter Olympics a good score. Well, we eviscerated Nagano Winter Olympics because the game was lame and gay. Needless to say, we never got that review copy of Metal Gear Solid, but I would rather have my integrity than lie to people and tell them that a log of shit tastes good.
Well, I'll tell you this, guys, before we get more of the panel's perspective, right? You always wait a minute before you start swearing on a network video. I think it's very good that we waited until 3 minutes, as my signal screams at me because I'm sharing my screen. But I'm going to read this, and I'm going to let you guys guess how much it is out of 10 from this description. A predictable but well-executed story. This is courtesy of IGN in regards to Ghost of Yotei. A predictable but well-executed story takes you through Ghost of Yotei's gorgeous landscapes and satisfying gender-fluid action. It may not be revolutionizing open-world gaming, but it's a great distillation of the samurai fantasy. So, Slay, how many out of 10 do you think, based on this description?
I think they give it an 8.
Yeah, I know what they gave it out of 10. I want to know what you would give it based on that description.
Oh, what I would give it?
Yes.
I would give it a 4.
There we go. Predictable but well executed. 4 out of 10. I don't want you reviewing network shows. You can get fucked. What about you, Rhoda?
Well, these easily bought journo types tend to really like predictable slop, so I reckon they would have given it quite a high score. I mean, predictable is almost like a comfort blanket for them. They don't actually want to. They don't want to be challenged. They want to know exactly what they're going to play, like having the same bloody FIFA every year and all that. So I reckon 7.5.
You say that, Rhoda, but FIFA games don't exist anymore because EA
They just called something else now.
Yeah, it's called
FC. It's the same thing that they've
Sport.
been producing for the last 30 years every year.
Could you imagine FIFA told EA to pound sand? Could you imagine a toxic entity like FIFA telling EA you're too bad for our company? It's like pot calling.
I did enjoy that.
Black. And speaking of black, we've got the whitest panelist on earth, Roger. Give his perspective on this situation. A predictable but well executed story. It's insane.
Yeah, pretty much just going based off of the pure description that they're given, just with that statement and everything. We got it to the point where predictability should just be like the bare basic average that you should normally see when it comes to any kind of storytelling. So just given with like the graphic that they're talking about with the gorgeous landscapes and the action and whatnot, you would expect that a game would actually run well. So that shouldn't be put as like a big factor into the overall score rating because you're expecting it. But if that's the case, the most that I would personally give it would be somewhere between like a 5, maybe a 6, because if it's predictable and all that, it's just average at best at this point.
Exactly. Of course, we all know that IGN gave it an 8 out of 10, and this looks perfectly fine, but we know the game doesn't look like this. If only games look like their promotional material, folks. If only. You should never judge a book by its cover. Never judge a game by its promotional material. So, as a games developer, Mustafa, what do you make of this description? A predictable but well executed story.
I mean, like from what that description sounds like, it sounds like another one of their 7 out of 10 reviews. Which I mean, like everyone's pointed out how IGN has basically become like their own meme with their review system. Though there isn't anything inherently wrong with being predictable. It's more about like the execution and like how well it's executed. Like I got this book on my shelf called Building a Story Brand. It's specifically about marketing. And like it breaks down, like there's 7 steps that like every single movie basically follows these beats. And once you understand this, it's going to change how you view movies forever, because you're going to see all the movies, at least the big budget movies, not indie movies, but big budget movies, they all follow these 7 beats, and it's fine. It's not inherently bad. It's just you have to come up with a good execution and make it worthwhile with like whether it's the characters or the gameplay or whatever. Something needs to be exceptional.
Well, I'll tell you this, folks, because I've been playing the Halo franchise recently. We're currently on. I started with Halo Reach because Master Chief Collection and that sort of thing. But we're now on to Halo 3, and there's one thing that I've noticed about Halo is that fundamentally it's the same damn game. The fundamentals is exactly the same, and of course, Halo Combat Evolved debuted, I believe, in 2001. And of course, Halo 3 was 2007. Halo Reach was 2009, 2010. And, you know, as the franchise goes on and as the train begins to wreck, especially when Bungie left and 343, now Halo Studios, took the reins, narratively it begins to go insane. But fundamentally, it's the same damn game. The concept works, right? The concept is sound. But the thing that's supposed to build it up constantly, that's where the Halo franchise, especially now, is constantly failing at. You've got a great concept, right? You've just gone off the rails in regards to the story and the arcs and the characters.
What's the matter, Digny? You don't like those neurodivergent skins they introduced into Halo?
Disgusting, tangent kings of new age, a story